Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Devan. With the internal crisis within the Trinamool Congress now escalating dramatically and a rebel Lok Sabha faction led by Kakoli Ghosh claiming the support of nearly 20 Lok Sabha MPs, writing to Speaker Om Birla expressing support for the NDA, the Mamata loyalists have now launched a blistering counter-attack. Senior TMC leaders Kalyan Banerjee and Kirti Azad have publicly branded the rebel MPs as traitors, accusing them of betraying party workers and secretly aligning with the BJP. Kalyan Banerjee questioned why the dissidents had not formally resigned or merged with the BJP, while Kirti Azad called the rebellion a betrayal of mandate won under Mamata Banerjee's leadership. Both leaders have also dismissed the rebels' claims of commanding 20 MPs and challenged them to make their letter public. The showdown has now spilled into Parliament, with rebel MPs holding meetings with senior BJP leaders in Delhi, even as Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee attend the opposition bloc discussions in Delhi. As both camps trade charges of betrayal and political opportunism, the rebellion has become the biggest challenge to TMC's unity in years. The TMC versus TMC fight could not only significantly reshape Bengal's political landscape, but with TMC forming one of the India bloc's largest share of Lok Sabha MPs, the internal battle could have major repercussions for national politics as well. Taking some of these allegations forward, I have with me Dr. Shantanu Sen, former TMC MP, Rohit Roy, BJP spokesperson, S.K. Datta, political analyst, and Sanjay Kumar, political analyst, with us on the broadcast. Let me begin with Dr. Shantanu Sen. Dr. Sen, you decided to quit the TMC. What do you now make of what's happening currently? Do you think that Kakoli Ghosh's faction really does have the numbers?
I was in TMC since its inception. I was the Rajya Sabha member and I was the national spokesperson of this Trinamool Congress. But finally, politicians do politics for the common people. When people have rejected Trinamool Congress, then I could realize that we failed to convince the common voters, the electorate. That's why, in order to give response to the mandate given by the common people, I have resigned from the post of this national spokesperson of Trinamool Congress. And let me tell you one thing, Dr. Shantanu Sen is not raising his voice only after the miserable defeat of Trinamool on 4th of May. Being a member of Rajya Sabha, being inside the party during the Arjikar incident and during the Avaya incident, I rose my voice. My wife, Dr. Kakoli, who is a councillor of Calcutta Corporation, she also rose the voice against the corruption and demanding justice for Avaya. But unfortunately, instead of doing investigation, I was removed from that post of chairmanship of Arjikar, and finally I was suspended from Trinamool Congress for 14 consecutive months. That's why this party is facing these inevitable consequences. These Himalayan corruptions have been promoted. Those who tried to bring these issues before the leadership, they were punished. And those who were involved in the corruption, they were promoted like anything. That's why finally outrightly rejected this Trinamool Congress. And as a politician, I think it's my moral duty to give response to the public mandate. That's why I resigned. So far the Kakoli, this decision is concerned, whatever they are doing maintaining the protocol of parliamentary politics, parliamentary decorum. If they are having more than 2/3 of numbers, that is 20. Yes, they can do anything. They can take any decision because they are having numbers.
But Dr. Shantanu Sen, as you pointed out, you resigned when Arjikar happened, and because of what you say is the internal party politics that led to your isolation from the post of the inquiry committee. But on that note, now we see all of the MLAs and MPs coming out and speaking up against Mamata Banerjee, against Abhishek Banerjee. They're talking about problems within the political party. They're talking about corruption charges. It's not as though all of this has come to light, especially to members of the TMC right after the election result. I'm assuming that all of these problems have been around, if not for months, then for years. So why is it that none of the MPs and MLAs actually decided to resign, much like yourself, before the result came out? Why did they still choose to run for elections under a Mamata Banerjee's political party if she is so corrupt?
No. You are talking something different. Everyone has expressed their mind and they have said that they didn't find any space inside the party to express their mind. There was an autocracy going on. But once the party has got the mandate from the public, then instead of accepting the public mandate, the party supremo is saying, no, we have not lost the election. We are raising hand, we have won the election. This is not done. It is the public mandate that is to be accepted. Even after the declaration of the result, the way the meeting was conducted in presence of Trinamool Supremo, as I have been informed and as I have seen in social medias, that is something horrible. Those who have left this, those who are belonging to this rebellion group, many of them are senior leaders. They are having their parliamentary or assembly experiences for more than few decades. So they are saying they are not given due attention. And above all, morning shows the day as the newly elected Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari has proved himself within a month that he is capable enough for the development of our state. Similarly, the MPs are saying yes, if the party is same in central and state, so if they work together, join hands together, then there will be a development for the country, and at the same time Bengal will face much more development. So politicians' first criteria is to develop their own state. So in order to develop their state they live in, they are trying their best.
Okay, I want to bring in Rohi Roy into the conversation. Rohi Roy, the BJP. How does the BJP then respond to these allegations that are now coming up, that we saw a similar playbook in Maharashtra, and that the BJP is doing the exact same thing in West Bengal, that they waited for the election results, but some of these talks is being alleged by the pro-Mamata faction that the BJP had already planned this much in advance, that the idea was to break up the party both in the state and at the national level to increase support for the BJP. How does the BJP respond to some of these allegations?
See, firstly, we had already made it very clear, even before we were very clear on this, that if TMC loses power, TMC is going to crumble. Now, what Dr. Shantanu Sen said is very appropriate, that he has been with TMC since its inception. Same goes for Kakuli Goswami and other people. Now, Mamata Banerjee has a very weird habit that she believes in the politics of opportunism. She does not have any strong ideology of her own. She keeps on jumping ships and she keeps on jumping from this pole to that pole just for her political benefit. And today, she has kicked out her own friends. What Mamata Banerjee was doing was a pure opportunist politics just for her nephew. And obviously, after a point of time, this boiling pot will overflow and people will speak out. BJP gave that democracy, gave that space, and obviously TMC is not in a position. That is why people are speaking out. So there is no two thoughts about it. At the same time, today when I was hearing Kirti Azad talking about loyalty, it was so rich to hear it from him. That person who was in BJP in 1990, joined Congress in 2019, then joined TMC in 2021, is now talking about loyalty. So these are the politics sometimes make us see such strange things. But at the same time, what we are seeing in Bengal is nothing that what Shantanu Sen was saying, that Shubhendu Adhikari is doing a lot of good works. What kind of good works? I will give you a few examples, which are very basic. Today, from Surendranath College, a very renowned college in West Bengal, multiple lethal weapons have been found from TMCP Union Room. Few days ago, in that same college, inside TMCP Union Room, there was a bed, bunker, and some controversial items were there. Now, you tell me, for 15 years, TMC was not aware of this. What Shubhendu Adhikari or what we are doing in the state right now in Bengal is actually very basic things which should have been done very much long ago. And these are happening now in this land of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Rather, I would say better late than never. But these things shouldn't have happened ever. If today inside a TMC councillor's office, we are finding a lavish bedroom, this will definitely raise question on the kind of politics that was going on in West Bengal for such a long time. We are just bringing that change which should have happened long back. And Bengal's lost glory is what we focus on bringing in. In that journey, if Kakuli Goswami or Ritubrata Banerjee and others, they feel that they need to support us or they need to start bending their ways so that they can now effectively start working for the people, joining hands with us, they're most welcome to do so.
Okay, I want to bring in SK Datta into the conversation as well. SK Datta, On the one hand, we now see that state machinery has been unleashed on the TMC, be it Mamata Banerjee, be it her nephew Abhishek Banerjee. On the other hand, the party is now, one can say, it has imploded. Does this now mark truly the end of an era for the TMC in your assessment? Is there any way for a Mamata Banerjee to come out of this mess? Because even if she keeps the party together, like I said, the state machinery is now actively looking into certain charges against her and her family members.
I think Mamata Banerjee had seen the Waterloo recently during the time of the Bengal elections, and the results and the outcome of the Bengal election itself was a Waterloo for TMC. What's happening now is the aftermath of that Waterloo. It is the tsunami which is taking place in Trinamool Congress. And Mamata Banerjee herself needs to be blamed for all this. First and foremost, she is extremely dictatorial. She is very, very arrogant, and she is extremely short-tempered. And on top of that, the blind love which she has for her nephew has created all this mess. The last 15 years of the TMC rule in Bengal had seen only nepotism, policy paralysis, corruption of the highest order, tolabaji, cut money, and of course, horrendous crimes against the women of Bengal and against the common people of Bengal. There was complete anarchy in the state of Bengal. People were waiting for the right opportunity to throw out Mamata Banerjee and her entourage, bag and baggages, in the Bay of Bengal. So it's quite obvious that whatever is happening now is actually a creation of Mamata Banerjee herself. We need to go back to history, and we need to look into regarding the inception of Trinamool Congress itself. She had gone for a piggy ride with Atal Bihari Vajpayee and with the BJP during the time of her inception days of her party, and later on when she got herself established, then she again took a piggy ride with Sonia Gandhi under the UPA. And when she knew that she has got all the dividends from the UPA, she dumped the UPA. Prior to that, she dumped the NDA, and then after dumping the UPA, she decided to choose her own course. Even her founding members of Trinamool Congress, Ajit Panja and others, they were very stalwart leaders of Bengal, and who had come out with Mamata Banerjee from the Congress. What had happened with people like Ajit Panja and all, they had died a very, very, horrible and a very, mysterious kind of a death as such, So it's quite obvious that, and the way they were thrown out from Trinamool Congress, Ajit Panja and other people, by Mamata Banerjee herself, so it's a law of karma which is happening. What she did in the past, she's getting that back now. And I think from here, it is extremely difficult for her to, chalk out her course of action. She's already above 70 now. Her party has got disseminated in Bengal. Every day there is an exodus taking place from the party. And even the so-called loyal people, who are still with Trinamool Congress, whether it's Shamini or whether it's Mahua Maitra, why didn't they go for the India Alliance meeting with Mamata Banerjee yesterday? Why were they not seen with Mamata Banerjee? Mahua Maitra as well as Shiny and others, those who pretend to be loyal to Mamata Banerjee and to Didi, So I think Mamata has realized that she's fighting a losing battle, and she has no other option except for touching the feet of Congress and other regional parties for her own survival. The level of corruption which is there against her, and the kind of nepotism which she has indulged in. Even today, the CID had gone to her Kalighat residence, and everyday things are coming out, So I think sooner or later, both Mamata Banerjee and her nephew Abhishek Banerjee will see the doors of jail either in Alipur or in Presidency Jail, or might be in Tihar. And she's trying to save herself, and that's the reason she came here in Delhi for creating this fiasco by participating in the India Alliance. But she got no weightage there also, and I think her battle is over now.
Okay, I want to bring in Mr. Sanjay Kumar then. Mr. Sanjay Kumar, what does the implosion of the TMC then mean for the larger future of the India bloc? We've already seen that the DMK has decided to exit the India bloc over the Congress's decision to go ahead with the TVK in Tamil Nadu, and now we see Mamata Banerjee potentially losing control of the very party that she also, she split from the Congress and created this. This is her creation. She's been the leader for a long time, but clearly she's not in a position to contain the implosion. What does this mean truly then for the opposition bloc as well?
Yes, it's now the requirement. Anyhow, just she has to coordinate the India bloc so that she may give the message against the BJP or the NDA. The thing started from it, how she has lost the election in West Bengal. And I was hearing Kakoli Ghosh, she was telling that I have no problem to Mamata Banerjee, but regarding the central scheme, what type of contradiction she has started, what type of confront she has started with the center. In any condition, I will not implement or execute the central scheme in my state. Regarding the education, regarding the health, so, and regarding the lawlessness, she has already raised the voices. Okay, fine. If you have already lost the election in West Bengal, how you can expect that the India bloc leader will just give you the proper respect, proper position in the India bloc? That very time when you were powerful, you were strengthened the India bloc, that very time just you have outrightly refused. No, there is no need, there is no alignment with the Congress party. I myself is sufficient to fight to the BJP. That very time just you have rejected. Now Congress is also understanding your part, how you have become weakened, and just you are giving the message to the nation that how the NDA or especially the BJP is just throwing him. So this is the question, this is the timing where the question arises. What is the need of the India bloc combination? What is the need of the strengthening of the India bloc? That is the question. First of all, Mamata Banerjee will have to just interact with the party members, party MLA, party MP. First of all, she has to she has to convince the member of parliament, she has to convince the member of legislature. Okay, fine, I have lost the elections, but I am in position to again just stand up and fight before the BJP and fight against that very type of forces through which I have been lost the election. But she is just giving the energy to just coordinate the India bloc at Delhi. So this is not the proper time. In my view, just you will ask to me, this is not the proper time. She has to devote her energy to just strengthen her party, strengthen and just interact with the MLAs and MP of his party.
Okay, S.K. Datta, your thoughts on the same. I want to understand from you, what do you think will be the future now of the opposition bloc with one of its largest parties, the TMC, in a way non-existent?
Well, I think the actual battle is now for the TMC is in relation to the symbol of TMC. Like with a two-third member of parliament, rebelling against Mamata Banerjee and coming out of TMC and vowing for their support for the NDA and joining the NDA. So the anti-detection law does not apply, and the SR Bomai case does not apply here. And I think after what we had seen in the Shiv Sena case, when two-third member of parliament and two-third MLAs had come out of Uddhav's party, they got the symbol from the Supreme Court, the original symbol of Shiv Sena. So I think the same logic will apply on TMC also, and this bloc led by Kakoli of 2021 MPs and the MLAs, the exodus which we have seen, I think they will legitimately get the symbol of TMC. So in that case, Mamata Banerjee's TMC itself will become non-existent. And in the political sphere also, TMC is a non-existent entity now. And India bloc has become further weak after the dissemination of TMC in Bengal. The withdrawal of DMK from the India bloc has given another slap to India Alliance, and also the Aam Aadmi Party has come out of India bloc, India Alliance. So in my understanding, India Alliance today is actually, is a sinking boat, and it is, fighting for its survival. So in my understanding, 2029 elections will be almost like a cakewalk for the Bharatiya Janata Party, the way things are blowing now and the way things are going. The coming monsoon session of parliament would be very significant, because I understand, and what I have heard is like the NDA under the steward leadership of Narendra Modi ji is going to come up with few important bills. One is the women reservation bill. The other one is the uniform civil code, and the third one is national population policy, So these three bills are there in offing, and I think the numbers which are required for passing these bills in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the 2/3 majority, with the DMK gradually getting cozy with the NDA and a large chunk of the TMC joining the NDA, I think it becomes much more smoother and easier for the NDA and for BJP to pass this bill. And with this three bills, if these are passed, it would be marathon bills which would change the political contours of the national politics in the country.
Okay, all right. Like SK Datta has pointed out, very interesting developments could take place in the coming weeks, especially within the parliament. But on that note, I thank all of our guests for joining us. My colleague Anand Singh has now spoken to Team Mamata MP Kirti